That's a good question. Barb from Sunny Slope is with us. I was going to be a special secret, but my parents will be here today firing an Independence indoor shooting from New Hampshire. I believe they're on their way, maybe 7:30 at the latest, but we've got people at the range firing. If you'd like to stop by and join us, Barb, we're going to get to you in 2 seconds. Ryan joins us. Then we're going to have Pete from Mountain Home, Max. So much going on here. Ryan, by the way, awesome facility. You're the general manager here. Thank you for having us. Tell us a little bit about Independence Indoor Shooting.
Independence Indoor Shooting is a state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, indoor entertainment option here in town. We've got a 6,000 square feet retail space. We've got large classrooms where we entertain private events, and we also have an academy where we teach dozens of different classes from a beginner to an advanced shooter. We do stuff for youth. And then we've got gunsmith services here. We can do anything from custom-built rifles to handgun modifications to Cerakoting. Anything you can think of you'd like to do to a firearm, we can do it here. And then we also have some 21 lanes, state-of-the-art indoor shooting range. We've got the HEPA-controlled filtered ventilation system, climate-controlled. Just a beautiful facility to come and enjoy the sport of shooting.
What's it like to be a part of this? Like I said, I don't think we haven't seen anything like this in the state of Idaho, where you can come in, you can get your accessories, huge selection of weapons. You can rent a firearm to fire on the range. You've got safety. You've got a range officer. What's it like to be a part of this and to watch the movement grow?
It's really a privilege to be a part of a place like this, and to see people come in to exercise their Second Amendment rights and to enjoy the sport of shooting, to see new shooters handle a firearm for the first time and see the excitement in their face, to be able to participate in that sport, to be able to see new hunters hold a rifle for the first time and prepare to go hunting with their father. It's just a really cool experience for anybody who gets to come and participate here at Independence.
Now, for those that were listening during the weather and during the intro, what were we listening to a moment ago?
We do have a large selection of full auto firearms. Recently, I think we just heard the Thompson full auto. They call it the Chicago typewriter. We heard that firing, as well as a M16.
Amazing. What would you like to say to folks that have heard about Independence but haven't been in yet?
There's only about 20 facilities of this quality in the country. We'll be rated by the NSSF, the National Sports Shooting Foundation, as a 5-star facility, which is one of the highest rankings they give to facilities like this in the country. It's really a neat privilege to have a place like this to enjoy the sport of shooting, and a safe environment for people to come do that.
Now let's talk about the 100-yard range. We've got Barb from Sunny Slope. You just fired. What was it like?
It was incredible. I've been to other indoor shooting places, and I have never been to one like this. It's just beautiful. It's clean. I love the ammo that I got to use this morning, too. It really did make a difference.
Now, you want to see the 100-yard range. You were grilling Ryan about this. Let's talk a little bit about it. Why a 100-yard range here in Idaho?
Well, there are very few indoor ranges that have 100 yards in distance to shoot in. We decided that we wanted to be able to involve the rifle shooters, and they needed a distance that they could actually shoot a rifle in and be able to develop some accuracy in their guns. And so we just thought it was just a necessary element to bring that indoors for people to experience. There's probably maybe just, I don't know, half a dozen indoor ranges in the country that have that distance. I know we're the only ones in the Northwest where you can shoot, and it's just a really cool thing to do, to see that football field distance inside of a building and shoot.
You can hear it right now.
Yeah.
Barb, you have a question, it seems, about the 100-yard range. You look like you're ready to jump on the mic.
I was going to make a joke. I was going to say what I'd like to see for a target is like a deer running across the end. You know?
Everybody has suggestions, yes.
Everybody has suggestions.
Yes. That would have to be remote controlled. We couldn't have somebody doing that.
Not behind the deer,
right.
just walking.
No. Anyway, during the day, what's the best time to come in?
There's not a bad time to come in. We get a lot of people who like to come in the mornings to shoot. We've got a senior mornings where you can get a discount to come in and shoot on the range on Wednesday mornings. Tuesday night we have a ladies' night. We have a lot of women come in, and we've just actually launched our own women's organization called the Independent Women. They're going to get together every Tuesday night coming up this fall for a really cool opportunity to shoot with other women. And then we've just hold a lot of other events, shooting competitions, and different things like that.
It's really great. You have this facility that's so new, and you have so many people coming in. What's the easiest way? Because we have people saying, well, Kevin Miller, you say it's off Overland. What's the easiest way to get here? I'm sure you get that a lot. I just say look for the big flagpole off of Overland, but we're in Meridian. How should people get here if they want to swing in this morning or anytime?
The best way to probably get here is to either come off of Eagle. We're just on the south side of Overland. A lot of people are familiar with what used to be the Broadview University. It's now the GEM Prep new charter school, and our building is directly behind that off of Wells on the south side of Overland.
Well, see, Barb, you have anything else? You just want to go check out the 100-yard range?
I want to go check out the 100-yard range. This is a wonderful place. I'm glad you have this on the radio so often, because that's why I finally came in. I said, well, I keep hearing this and hearing this.
Well, you're lobbying because you're a girl with a gun, too.
I'm a girl with a gun, yeah.
All right.
So you got my picture now.
Well, thank you. Ryan, we'll have you back next hour as well. Anything else you'd like to share with folks here?
No, we just invite people to come in this morning and shoot with us. The range time is free, and Reserve Munitions has brought some ammunition to shoot with, and we'd love to have people come in and shoot with us.
Well, that's pretty cool, because that is an expense to have people here, to have the range here, to have the weapons available. So we appreciate that. And where else do you get a chance to really shoot for free at such an awesome facility?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan. By the way, your website, if people want to get a hold of you guys?
iishooting.com.
iishooting.com. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to you next hour.
Thanks.
All right. Ryan joins us from Independence Indoor Shooting. Let's go to Pete, I believe, in Mountain Home, who's been very patient on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pete.
Kevin, good morning. I'm going to disagree with what Tom said about that incident in northern Idaho. And not debating the merits of the law on hate crime, what I heard up there sounded like a lot more like assault than anything else. You don't have to hit someone to assault them. That kind of vicious, intemperate screaming with the kids present, they may have used the hate crimes law to enhance the charges some, yeah. But even if the guy had not used any racial slurs, I'd have arrested him for assault.
And by the way, good news, Cindy's disagreeing with you, but I would agree with you on that. You physically touch someone, then you have issues with law enforcement. If we're going to start policing speech, well, then you have to do it with everyone. And what's the difference between expression and verbal assault? Look at
there's a big difference between telling someone what you think of them and that kind of screaming, I don't know. It just listening to it. That was not a discussion. That was an assault. I'm sorry.
Well,
you don't have to actually hit somebody to assault them.
Well, now that is interesting, because what happens when you have people that cut rap songs that say "beat up the police" or "blah blah blah the police," and they say that's expression?
Well, and there's a difference between saying that in a song that is not directed to an individual and using that kind of speech directly to an individual standing in front of you, especially with the kids there. I can call somebody, for example, Liberal Steve, a potty mouth poopy head over the phone, and that's not assault. But if I go up to him in person and start screaming at him like that, I think that's assault.
Fair enough. Terry from State College, Pennsylvania says you're correct. Thank you, Pete. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Let's go to Max in Garden City with Kevin Miller at KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Max.
I wanted to come up there so badly. I'm in my living room looking at my rifle in its case and my gun box, my range box. And my automobile is having a new transmission installed.
Well, no one's sorrier than I am, boss.
It's a sad day, buddy. But you know what's even sadder? This guy before talking about
Hold on, Max.
assault.
Hold on. Let's just listen for a minute. Well, I guess they're reloading.
Don't you love the sound of gunfire in the morning? Doesn't it smell like freedom?
On the radio it does, yes, but we've got clean filters here so we can't smell it.
Yeah. This guy talking about assault. Assault. If he's threatening you, yes, but words aren't threats. Now, I'm a little older than you are, but I think you can remember, too, growing up with sticks and stones may break my bones, but
Yes.
names will never hurt me.
Or judo chop to the face.
Good grief. If this state has hate speech laws, it's not just sissydom and it's a bunch of sissies, but that is the beginning. That is the beginning. How did we ever get this far? If this guy's going to stand in the bar or a room or anywhere and start yelling and screaming just insults based on race, that's his stupidity. That's not assault, Steve. That's not assault. Assault must present a clear threat to do harm.
Well, Pete says it's a verbal assault.
Yeah, but verbal assault isn't even a misdemeanor. However, disturbing the peace is. You could get him on a million little traffic ticket things. But it is insane. Hate crimes. If you kill somebody, it's probably because you hated them. But there's no race involved, so we can't call it a hate crime. And I've got to ask myself a question. What if this Idaho incident had involved a minority screaming these things out against Caucasians, against Italians or Hispanic people? I think they'd have just ushered them outside. There wouldn't be any hate laws because we have learned in our modern society that equal rights often means special rights. And it makes me so angry, I just want to go up there and hurl a few hate speeches of my own. But I'm not going to do that. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be up there to see you firing my gun because my car is in the shop and didn't get out yesterday. And I don't think I'll email you because I wonder if you've ever answered an email. I'm holding your feet to the fire, and the public is listening all over Idaho, wherever your strong AM signal and wimpy FM signal reach. They're listening.
Yes.
Kevin,
yes.
Contact me, my friend.
Matt.
Here's a little hate speech.
Right.
I hate you not calling me. I hate having no cooperation. Hate. Somebody come and arrest me.
All right. Thank you very much.
You take care.
All right. Appreciate that, Max. More people coming into Independence Indoor Shooting. Kevin Miller in the morning at KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Liberty Linda. Liberty Linda, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Believe me, if I could, I would be there. And you know what I would do? I would challenge you. Let's say, out of 10 shots, how many bullseyes you could make. What do you think about that?
Well, who would shoot more bullseyes, you or me?
Well,
You can't sit there and say, I challenge you, and then you not take part in the challenge.
Oh, of course. Yes, it would be between you and I.
Wow. That would be something to look forward to, a shoot-off between Liberty Linda and Kevin Miller.
The next time we're there, we're together, that's on. We'll do it.
You know, it's funny. I heard Liberal Steve mouthing off, but he has yet to show up. It's probably just one of those teases again.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if he shows up. And you know, maybe you could challenge him.
I don't know about that. But, Liberty Linda, what can we do for you today?
Well, let's see. I agree with Tom Munns. As long as somebody doesn't threaten your life, you know, or threaten you harm, then, you know, if it's racial or something like that, I wouldn't call the police and put them in prison for it, you know, because we do have freedom of speech. So I agree with him that far, unless it goes farther than that. So I agree with him on that. And, you know, what is this about, you know, our president, and they're so upset because he invited Putin here. You know, he's just trying to keep us out of war with a foreign country. So I say, yes, go ahead. Let's bring Putin here and talk to him. You know, it's not a bad idea, I don't think. Anyway, so I agree with our president regarding that.
Well, we miss you, Liberty Linda.
Believe me, I miss you and everyone else. All the good, wonderful friends there. Tell everyone hi. And please tell your parents hello. They are marvelous. And if no one knows, you have the most beautiful wife. She is so sweet. So tell everyone hi and have lots of fun today.
Well, we wish you were here. Thank you, Liberty Linda.
Okay, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. Kevin Miller in the morning. Coming up next, more of your thoughts. But look, we're here at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Why not stop by? Fire for free, 25 lanes. You've got that 100-yard indoor shooting range, the largest in the Northwest. Take part in that. By the way, Girls with Guns. You can register now, KIDOTalkRadio.com. Incredible prizes. We'll hear more about that as we start your day with live firepower on the range. And if you haven't heard this story, coming up next, a disturbing story out of northern Idaho where you have a man arrested for yelling racial slurs at teens at McDonald's. Whatever happened to Grimace and the Hamburglar? Apparently they've been replaced in northern Idaho. Also, the president inviting Vladimir Putin to the White House. Boy, you think they were mad at him before. I can't wait to hear what the libs have to say next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here, KIDO Talk Radio, from Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. By the way, our friends at the Caldwell Police Department. Sir, why don't you sit down here? We're going to put you on real quick here at KIDO Talk Radio. This gentleman here from Star, Idaho. Why don't you introduce yourself? Just your first name, sir. I'm Steven. Steven, why don't we turn him on there at KIDO Talk Radio? Thank you, Chandler. Great job. I thought that. Steven from Star, you're a roofer, right?
Well, it's a side thing I do, but yeah.
Side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a tough job, huh?
It's a little warm, so that's why we were trying to start at 5:30 this morning.
Right. Yeah, a little warm, especially with these triple-digit days.
Yeah.
When do you guys get done? Do you stay the whole day, or do you?
We'll hopefully we can get it done fast enough that we can get it done before it gets too hot.
Right. And how do you stay hydrated? I mean, most of us are wimps. We come out of the air and we're out of breath.
Bring a couple gallons of water with you,
right,
and lots of Gatorade.
Lots of Gatorade. So what brings you here this morning?
Well, I heard you on the radio the last few days, and I've been really wanting to stop by, but the roofing job fell through this morning, so I had some time, so I thought I'd stop by.
Well, thank you. Like I said, you can go by back there, fire a weapon. You can choose a weapon and check out the ammunition from American Reserve Munitions and check it out. You were saying I didn't bring a weapon. You were all bummed out.
Yeah, I showed up because I wanted to just look at some guns. I didn't bring anything to shoot, but they just informed me a little bit ago that I can just go over there, sign some papers, and they'll set me up.
Right, and Art talked to you about the grand jury.
Yeah. Art, he found me over in the corner, and we talked for a little while also.
What do you think of this place?
I think it's amazing. There are more guns than I thought you were going to have, and besides that, they're readily available to these guys. Talked to a guy about a gun, and he pulled it out and said, here, take a look at it.
Right.
And then I kind of let him know about my price range. I said, well, that's a little bit out of my bracket. He's like, well, here, look at this instead. And brought a whole new category of guns to my attention, and it wasn't a very good thing because now I'm going to have to explain to my wife why I need to come back.
Now you're going to have to do a couple more roofing jobs.
Exactly.
Well, we'd love to get your thoughts after you fire on the range, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Stephen. Anything else you'd like to say this morning? We appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, not a problem. That's it. Yeah.
All right. You're out. KIDO Talk Radio. Before we get to Test, Barb, you wanted to say something here?
Well, I'd say hello to Mr. and Mrs. Miller, who was supposedly on their way down here, and I'd like to see them.
You'd like to have you met them before?
I have met them before.
And you're willing to wait. You want to go to work, but you want to meet them. That's a tough. Well, see, what's the bigger draw? Firing at Independence Indoor Shooting, being on this at one time award-winning program, or meeting some fellow New Hampshireites?
Oh, meeting fellow New Hampshireites. I'm sorry. We miss New Hampshire terribly.
Really? Well, then we got a gun safe we'll put you in. By the way, we've talked a lot. These gun safes here are very impressive as well.
They are very impressive, yes.
I just got the new thing. They're on their way. So if you can wait a minute, they're on their way.
Oh, okay. Very good.
All right, Barb. Thank you very much. Tess, we're going to ask you to hold over on the news. More coming up. Here's a young man. He's here. He's ready to go. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. And once again, at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Tess. Tess, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio with Kevin Miller. Good morning, Tess.
Good morning. I wish I was down there with my 45, but I just can't make it. Well, so, I'm always the seeing is believing person. And so I wanted to go see this video on this horrible crime up north. And if you go to inlander.com, INLANDER.com, you can see the full video. And I would kind of have to ask myself, so these are clearly not children involved in this. These look like 16 to 20-year-olds that are involved in this. And if they're a church group, I'm not sure what church group allows teenagers to use the kind of language they're using. They're clearly hollering the F word back at this guy and calling him all kinds of names, and he's verbally retaliating. And I listened intently, repeatedly to this video for any kind of racist term, and I just am not sure. The only term I heard was when he yelled at them, "You half-breed." And I don't know which one he's referring to because so many of them were yelling at him. So it's a very interesting conversation. And it was probably a good idea that they split the sheets and both headed different directions. But you can clearly see people are agitated inside of the McDonald's. So go to inlander.com and I guess judge for yourself.
Thank you, inlander.com. Two sides to the story. Thank you, Tess. Wish you were here.
Me too.
All right, Tess, we appreciate that. Phone number's here, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And like I said, there are two sides to the story. We want to thank Tess for bringing that up. What she's commenting about is a story that we first brought you a few minutes ago, and it involves a man arrested in northern Idaho for yelling racial slurs at teens at McDonald's. My point on this is when a situation continues to escalate, it is incumbent upon the adults, and apparently this was a church group. The guy was there. He was worried about his wife who just had shoulder surgery, and all of a sudden these kids were running around having a good time, according to the reports. He starts getting into a confrontation. They're yelling back. Can't we all get along, and who's the adult here? But we'll break it down for you as we start your day on 107.5 FM and 580 AM. This is from our friends at Channel 7.
Say that when the suspect was questioned why he used racial slurs, he said it was because, quote, he knew it would get under their skin.
The go on! Hey, are you idiots? Hey, morons. No.
Cell phone video taken last week by the victim shows the tail end of the fracas. The man, named Jose Ceniceros, was the leader of a church youth group. They went to McDonald's to get some ice cream after a church event, but at some point, an argument broke out. That guy has been identified as Richard Sovensky. Court documents say his wife expressed concern because she claimed some of the kids were running around the restaurant and causing a disturbance. She worried one of the kids would run into her since she had recently underwent shoulder surgery. That sparked an argument, and Ceniceros says Sovensky punched him.
Get the out of Idaho!
That disagreement turned racist, police say. We've bleeped out the word, but the video appears to show Sovensky calling Ceniceros and the teens a racial slur. You can hear him shouting a homophobic slur, too. This guy, in the American flag shorts, is later seen grabbing his crotch and gesturing towards the girls. Police say...
Now, why does he have to do that if he's wearing the flag shorts?
Sovensky took off before they showed up. But he'd eventually come to the police department this week for questioning, though. There, police say he admitted to shoving Ceniceros and owned up to using racial slurs in order to, quote, get the upper hand in the argument. With that, police placed Sovensky in handcuffs and charged him with malicious harassment. That's the Idaho law that makes it illegal to intimidate someone based on their race or nationality.
So there we have it. By the way, the shots you're hearing in the background were at Independence Indoor Shooting. Still plenty of time for you to stop by and fire for free on the range. 100-yard range, 25 lanes. We've got Stephen from Star back there, Art from Star, Barb from Sunny Slope. She's here. Cindy, you were a little upset. By the way, George, where's our video feed? We're still working on our VIP Club video feed. If we had the video feed up, which, by the way, we're just making that up, you would see our friend Cindy. She has taken over an entire table here at Independence Indoor Shooting, and she's clipping newspapers. Talk about old school. She's doing the original cut and paste. That's right. Well, here, come on over here if you're going to talk to us. Now, you're very angry. You think that this show or this show should move on. You're saying this topic is boring.
Actually, yeah, I actually do, Kevin, with all the things that are happening in the world today, and who is always race baiting, dividing, being just every kind of thing that you could think of that the left, statist, progressive. This is the big news of today, when I can think of so many things happening in the United States, around the world, and I'm sitting here, and what I'm doing, Kevin,
in between your cutting and pasting of the newspapers.
I'm cutting and pasting. Did you ask me what it's all?
No,
articles?
I don't really need to know.
Well, I'm going to tell you anyway, Kevin.
Really? That never happened, Cindy.
The bottom line is, I know that's a bar from Sunny Slope would be here. I'm making an album of Lavoy Finnegan and the Bundys, and I was putting it together because I'm going to be writing an article about it, Kevin Miller. That is what I'm doing over there. I have some other things that I was doing, hoping that Steve would be here, but I think he's pretty cowardly not to show up.
So wait a minute now. You're calling out liberal Steve for not being here.
I am calling him out. Seriously. I mean, it really didn't matter.
You know, he does that a lot, though, where he says, I'm going to be there, and then he's wimpy.
What is that? He is not a man of his word.
Maybe, well, yeah.
So what does that say?
I don't know.
What does that say with a man being vulgar, gross, and we got to repeat it
now,
on the radio for children?
Wow.
Grabbing a body part. I'm a nurse. I'm so done with this. With
you're talking about the...
I don't even want to go
Wait a minute. Hold on,
there.
Cindy. Hold on. You went from liberal Steve back to the video to the cutting and pasting of the... Right. Hold on. I'm just trying to keep up for people at home.
Right.
Okay. Anything else?
Actually, yeah. I hope
we've
you
used
do move
actually a
on
lot,
after
yes.
8 o'clock to a new story. I happen to agree, as you know, with Tom Munns.
You're telling
Let's
us
get
to move
over
on.
This, and can we move on? Because now
you want to be the producer.
No, I don't. Thank you very much.
This is what happens when Ray Amaya is not here.
I actually wrote the questions for a radio show once, but not the producer.
Right. All right.
Thank you very much. But anyway, can I come back later?
Sure.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye.
All right. Bye. And then, by the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live, Bar from Sunny Slope. There we go. Phone number's here, 580-546-580-KIDO. Your reaction to this story. Let's hear more about what's going on with the NFL.
Just hours after the Associated Press reported that Miami Dolphins players who take a knee or protest on the field during the national anthem could face suspensions, the league and the players' union now say they're talking things out. A joint statement says no new rules will be issued or enforced for a few weeks while those discussions about the policy are ongoing. In May, the league passed the rule forbidding players from sitting or kneeling if they're on the sidelines during the Star-Spangled Banner, but they could stay in the locker room if they wanted. The rule also threatened fines and left it up to teams on how to punish players that didn't stand. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
All right, phone number's here, 580-5436-580-KIDO. We're at Independence Indoor Shooting, and by the way, we've got a lot of folks here, but, now, Cindy, I'm doing a radio show here. We move on. We're taking your calls, your reaction to this story, number one. Number two, more importantly, thanks to Wes at American Reserve Munitions, thanks to Ryan and the great staff here at Independence Indoor Shooting, you can come in and shoot for free. You can hear people firing, lots of people showing up, but still time to be here. We've got Art from Star as well. Lots of he's got his chocolate. That's great, Art. Lots of time. And if you're not available to come in, you can talk a little bit about the national anthem story that you just heard from Tanya J. Powers. And you can join us here. But, what happens when a situation escalates? You're in a McDonald's. You have a group of teenagers and a church group. Now, we heard from Tess that everybody was swearing back and forth, right? So does that mean that you should be charged with a crime for speech? Have we gotten to a place in Idaho, in America, where speech is outlawed? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. does that mean, and legally I don't know if there's a lawyer listening, if someone calls you a name, is that a violation of the criminal code? And if so, do you agree with that? That's really what it comes down to. A violation of the criminal code if you insult someone. And really, what is an insult? Look at the N-word situation. Some people consider that a compliment. Back and forth. Yes, nitrogen, thank you. Other people look at it differently. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We'll take your calls this morning. If you're in the Meridian area, drop by Overland right here, right behind the new GEM Prep School. We would love to see you. Big flagpole, Independence Indoor Shooting. You'll be hearing people firing very soon as we continue to start your day. Waking up on the right side with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning here from Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho, taking your phone calls. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. A couple stories we're talking about, getting your reaction to this man arrested for yelling racial slurs. Have we gone too far when it comes to being politically correct? Also, big ups to the police departments and the federal agencies for nabbing members of the Aryan nations. You heard Chief Bones, if you didn't, that story from Channel 7 where Chief Bones says if you're going to be a part of some type of gang, some type of illicit behavior, then you belong back in the pen. And the law enforcement lip sync challenge continues. Caldwell has joined the efforts. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. You can go to their Facebook site, and I have to say the folks at the Caldwell Police Department are very brave when it comes to expressing their dancing moves. With all due respect to the Caldwell Police Department, sometimes you might want to leave the dancing, even if it is to big and rich, to professionals. Sometimes you just don't want to see those things, but props to them. Great community efforts in Meridian, in Nampa, in Caldwell, ISP, Twin Falls. Still waiting for the Boise PD if they're going to do that. Not many people have called them out, and when that happens, if that happens, I'm sure we will be talking about that. But as I write about at KIDOTalkRadio.com, it's just not people goofing off. Some critics have said that the law enforcement folks shouldn't be doing it. It's a waste of resources. I think it's great community policing. Speaking of which, between now and 9 o'clock, we're going to be at Independence Indoor Shooting in Meridian, Idaho. People have come by, fired weapons, had a great time. You can come by and fire for free, and you'll be hearing the sounds of freedom coming up next as we move along. Speaking of which, other news of the day, Girls with Guns. We're taking your nominations for that. That'll be closing soon. If you have a girl with a gun, some great prizes you can take part in now. Art has joined us again from Star. He was here before the broadcast this morning. And did you go fire yet, Art, or are you just wanting people to join your grand jury?
Well, with regret, I attempted to fire, but the store doesn't have any moon clips.
Yeah.
And the .45 ammunition, ACP, will fall through a governor without the moon clips.
Right.
So the only thing that you could shoot would be .45 long
right.
for a rifle or a .410 shotgun, and they didn't have any .410. So I didn't get the fire, so I did the next best thing. I went and bought me an ammo can filled with chocolate ammunition.
Well, my physique resembles that, number one. Number two, they have other weapons for you to fire here.
I know.
You were just really...
I wanted to try it out.
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll get around. I'll bring my own moon clips next time.
Right. You bring your own moon clips.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
And I think, by the way, I really think that it's a wonderful thing that the police officers are learning how to line dance. It is not a waste of resources. It is a way for the police department to contact and connect with the... You have to remember, they're the good guys. They're not the bad guys.
Right.
They catch the bad guys. And the bad guys will do everything they possibly can do to say, I didn't do it.
Sure.
So we understand that, and I like the idea that it's going viral,
Well, Cindy has an issue with it.
Maybe KDIO should start a dance club here.
You mean KIDO?
KIDO, yeah, KIDO, KIDO. Kiddo.
Well, yeah,
kiddo.
Yeah, we're not kiddos.
Okay, well.
We're KIDOs. We take that seriously there, buddy.
Your code is 208, right?
Yeah, you had a critique about I never give out the phone, the area code.
Well, that followed me up because, there's a voice over IP type of
Right.
telephone that replaced the landlines if you have an internet. And so I've got that, and every time I dial the number, I woke somebody up in Arkansas. So I don't know. I tried my.
I like that idea.
You do 208, folks.
Wake somebody up in Arkansas. They need it. 580-5436, 208-580 KIDO. Coming up next, we'll go to Jerry in Nampa. But first, let's go to traffic and weather together and the sound of people firing on the range on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dave. KIDO Talk Radio weather from the Channel 7 First Alert Weather Center. Good morning, Larry. And Julie texts in, Kevin, Cindy's right. I wish I could be there. Move on from this story. Tell Cindy I said hi. Well, Cindy, Julie says hi. Let's go to Jerry in Nampa on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Julie. Or good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Kevin. Hey, so I'm not moving on from the subject. I'm sorry, but my biggest thing is I'm an advocate for consequences for actions. I believe this guy should have consequences for his actions, but we constantly complain about jail overcrowding and jails being full, but yet it seems to be let's arrest everybody for everything. So instead of arresting him and putting him in jail, why don't we give him community service or do something? Give him a book and release, send him into court, go through the court systems that way. That's just my rant.
Well, Jerry, we appreciate that at KIDO Talk Radio, but I go back to it. Sometimes you have to be the bigger person and just kind of take one for the team and either leave or talk to the head of the church group. And, if the kids are running wild, unfortunately, our society seems to encourage that these days. Where's the last place that you have discipline? I can tell you they have discipline here at Independence Indoor Shooting, but
very good.
You take it other places, we've seen an erosion of discipline.
I agree. I see it everywhere, even in the older folks anymore.
Oh, especially with the older folks. I mean, I get cut off all the time by the older folks.
Yeah, I've heard Liberal Steve cut you off quite a bit.
But, sooner or later you just got to sit, is it worth it when you're, confronted with a situation, or you just get up and leave and maybe you call the pastor of a church instead of, because, again, more resources, more time, more stress. And in the end, was it worth it? No.
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's sad. So are you down with the police lip sync challenge, Jerry?
I haven't seen him other than on the news. My wife has been telling me about him. It says Caldwell's in the lead. So
yes, Caldwell has really burned it into your brain.
Very good. I'm gonna make it a point this weekend to sit down and watch him.
Thank you, Jerry. Take care.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll have a good day.
Now, I'm being verbally assaulted by Cindy from Caldwell. She says, do I know what save Austin, when he goes away, you let him go away. Pot him down, please. All right. You hear the weapons in the background. Now, I'm being verbally assaulted, so you don't think that I'm a victim. You're saying I don't know what save a horse, ride a cowboy means. Is that right, Cindy? You don't know what it means either, Art? I don't know what it means either. I think it's a nice song about having a good time. Right, save a cow, eat chicken. All right, phone numbers, and now you're calling us names. Shame, know your name. We're having a good time here. Oh, look, it's my parents, Pat Miller, Larry Miller. They're here to fire from the range. There's Art. He's going to tell you about the grand jury. Kevin Miller, Independence Indoor Shooting. Join us this morning.